Welcome to Project Pink Floyd. We're glad you came to see a little bit about how we started our project. This started as a 1960 Corvette Pink Floyd themed car from the 1980s. As you can see, it needed quite a bit of restoration work, and there is a lot of Pink Floyd themed items on the car. As you'll see through this video, there was a whole lot of disassembly and modification that was required to bring this car back to life. We originally thought we were just going to get the car, strip the paint down, put a fresh coat of paint on it, and bring it back to life. And as we started peeling the onion back, you'll notice that it needed a whole lot more work, so we just had to proceed with a full restoration. You'll notice the boss working really hard, categorizing parts, putting it in the computer so that we'll have an easy assembly when the project's ready to start reassembly. We found this car in San Antonio, Texas, and decided that this was going to be the car for our project. It was a no-hit car, so we thought that the body was a really good starting point. Of course, by the time it got up to Tennessee, we found that the driver's side glass had been broken. We also found that when it arrived, the engine came full of fuel because the ignition key was left on and the fuel pump just continued to pump the tank of fuel into the engine. So we pretty much toasted the engine, decided we're going to have to go with a new engine. You'll notice in these pictures there's a tremendous amount of detailed parts within the doors. We had to fully document this so that when we went to go put the windows and all of the door assemblies back together, we'd have some reference points. There are some books on the car on how to get it back assembled, but there's nothing like taking real detailed photos so that you know exactly how it goes back together. As we started peeling the onion back and opened up the door panels, you'll notice a big crack in the top of one of the doors. We had to go and source another door and graft a piece back in because there were some assemblies that actually acted as window stops in this particular door, so we needed that to get it back to normal. In the disassembly process, we have a nice scissor jack to get the car up in the air to make it a little easier to remove parts, get up underneath, and pull stuff out. Also, this particular car came with an aftermarket hood, which had racing tie-downs rather than hood latches. So, we went ahead and documented some of this stuff, even though we're going to end up not using it in the new build. Notice the crack pipe to hold down the air cleaner. That was a very Pink Floyd touch. We originally thought we were going to use this 350. It was pretty beefed up, had a nice cam in it, bored over. And again, once we received it, we realized that the engine had been full of gas. We were not terribly excited about continuing to reuse this motor, so we went ahead and scrapped the motor and ended up going with a 350 crate motor and adding on a period dual 4-barrel setup off of the 283 and dressed it out to look like a 283. So we think at the end we made the right decision. Not having worked on some of these old classic Chevys in the past, we uncovered that we needed a new tool. There's a tool called a clutch head. If you look very closely, the clutch head is required to remove this screw. Once we got the seats out of the car, we uncovered that the seats were actually not from a 1960, but they were actually from a 1961 or 62 Corvette. The good news is they are going to be a great seat for a trade since we plan on putting in some aftermarket wise guy seats. You'll notice the nice brass knuckles that they used for wire looms. It's kind of an interesting redneck touch. Once we got all the carpet pulled up, we found out that they had done a pretty good hack on the shifter in the tunnel, so we are going to have to totally rebuild the tunnel in this car.